You see the video and you might ask, how does anyone survive a crash like this? And there's also the question, how did the pilot slam into this tower in the first place? In our exclusive on-camera interview, pilot Patrick Merkle talks about what happened. DC News Now's Joseph Omo also asked him about another crash where he was at the controls some 30 years ago.
Altitude alert, number 201 Romeo Foxtrot.
Tonight, new audio from air traffic control revealing the moment when pilot Patrick Merkle was flying too low.
Number 201 Romeo Fox, review the transition low altitude alert.
In a one-on-one exclusive with DC News Now, Merkle admits that was the case.
What do you think ultimately led to the plane crash?
Well, quite obviously, I was flying too low. So, you know, however I ended up flying too low, I'll have to review that with the FAA and the NTSB. But obviously there are ways that is not supposed to happen that didn't work out on this particular trip, and God stepped in and made sure that we would live to see another day.
And in case you're wondering,
there's always that concern that the pilot was somehow impaired, which I promise you was not the case.
Merkle was flying his 45-year-old Mooney M20J, a small aircraft from Westchester, New York to Gaithersburg Airport in Maryland. The weather on Sunday, as you see in these videos, a challenge. We asked Merkle why he didn't just deviate to a different airport.
The possibility of diverting the flight to another airport always exists. It's extremely inconvenient to everybody on the ground, and of course, after you've been in the air for 3 hours, the last thing you want to do.
Do you wish you had diverted to Frederick?
Of course. And the aircraft ahead of us had diverted to Frederick.
And tonight, DC News Now also confirming that Merkle was the pilot of another small plane that crashed in 1992. All 5 people on board that flight also miraculously surviving. The NTSB report we pulled showing the probable cause was the pilot's poor in-flight decision.
Did that crash ever come across your mind when you were up in the tower on Sunday?
I wouldn't say it didn't. You know, I took 10 years off flying after that crash, so that my wife would know that the family was the priority and not my own interest in aviation.
Do you think you'll ever be in a cockpit again?
Well, I still own a Cessna. You know, I'd still love.
So, we asked the FAA what happens if a pilot gets into more than one crash in their career. Here's what they told us. If our safety inspectors believe a pilot may have violated a regulation, they can address simple mistakes with counseling or documented improvements. If they believe the violation was egregious or willful, they will recommend a sanction based on the facts. The sanction can range from a warning letter to a license suspension or revocation. Reporting here in the studio, I'm Joseph Omo. Back to you.